You are on 20 nationwide from the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. My name is Femi Johnson, and thanks for joining us. Acting President Yemi Osinbajo has reiterated the need for Nigerians to guide against plunging the country into ethno-religious crisis, stressing that security and a buoyant economy remain key in Buhari administration agenda. The acting president, in a lecture titled Economic Dimension of National Security at the National Defense College, explained that the weak criminal justice system is creating loophole that makes it possible to evade consequences of wrongdoings and therefore needs to be reworked.
Ensure that people do not lose faith in the system. It's when people lose faith in the system that you have all the insurgencies, all the problems, and the various things that tend to happen around us. And these, of course, are national security concerns that impinge on our capacity to be productive and impinge on our capacity to grow our economies the way it should. The civil justice system is the same. The system of civil justice, also very, very slow. When people want to steal resources, when they want to make good for themselves, they don't ask, are you Christian or Muslim? Are you South, South, or Southeast? It is when they want something for themselves, for their selfish reasons, that they start introducing all manner of other elements into it. And I think that we, as a people, must resist that temptation to slide into ethno-religious conflicts and problems. We already have enough problems as it is.
Acting president at the National Defense College, the theater commander of Operation Lafiya Dole, Major General Lafiya Dole, says the military remains on top in the mop-up exercise of the activities of insurgents in the northeast. Major General Rabo said this during the monthly media briefing of Operation Lafiya Dole. He said the joint military forces remain vigilant in curtailing the activities of Boko Haram, while arrests of insurgents have continued.
Having won the war, the train on the track to enduring peace is currently in motion. Yesterday, the National Coalition Against Terrorism held a rally where they called on all to give greater support to the peace efforts. They equally called on all renegades in the name of Boko Haram to surrender without further delay. The people are rising up against Boko Haram, and it is encouraging to us. Continued support and encouragement of Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief, as well as the Chief of Defense Staff, Chief of Army Staff, and all the service chiefs are unquantifiable and are hereby appreciated. Let us together maintain the momentum.
The Operation Lafiya Dole commander also advised people to always watch their back and report any suspected persons to law enforcement agencies. Meanwhile, the capture of Sambisa forest by the troops means different things to different people. To some people, the feat signifies the end of Boko Haram. To many others, it is the final frontier by which all the secrets of Boko Haram will come to the open. Hamis Rogo linked up with the fighting men in Borno State and also has a situation report on what the degrading of the insurgency and the reclaiming of Sambisa forest stands for.
It is the day I joined a unit of the Nigerian Army in their fight against insurgency.
Well, going to Sambisa is not a tea party because you are coming eyeball to eyeball with the fighting men of the Nigerian Armed Forces who day and night are trying to finish the last remnants of Boko Haram.
I am propelled by the good news of the degrading of Sambisa and the story current among military circles that Boko Haram is no longer a strong fighting force. Both information are correct, but the war is still far from over.
I've been in this theater for more than 3.5 years. In the past, the Boko Haram comes to us and we run. But now, it wasn't like that. We go to them, we look for them, we find them, see them eyeball to eyeball.
We joined the contingent from Bama. The town is not accessible except by military or civilian construction workers on escort. Bama is the headquarters of 21 Brigade. the operational unit prosecuting the war in Sambisa forest and surrounding Boko Haram enclaves. We are witnesses to movements of men and machine going to war front or coming from it right there in Bama. The brigade has 11 units and they are on field continually. We are attached to a unit that is to address some insurgents' irritation far from the gate of Sambisa. As we moved, we ran into a unit that left before us, but were held because they discovered explosives on their routes. As we pushed into the war field, we had detonations of the explosives. In the meantime, we continue our movement into our operational area. The soldiers were moving with the confidence of someone going to a dance party.
Well, obviously, we are still in the operational area, sir. Yes. And you can see your men just trying to penetrate the bushes, sir. Yeah, obviously, because the impression is that Sambisa Island, Sambisa forest has been liberated. But we can see in an operational area. What's the situation like, sir?
What's happening right now is that we've cleared all the major camps where the Boko Haram strongholds. Yeah. We've cleared them and their enclaves. Yeah. However, we still have remnants of the Boko Haram fleeing, trying to look for a place to run to. Yeah. So we are conducting further clearance operations.
Close our operational movements, our settlements, they look like ancient ruins.
We have situations whereby we go to clear, when we're on our way to clear Boko Haram enclaves, we find villagers running away with the Boko Haram. We don't know why. Instead of them losing the opportunity, the Boko Haram are running. Instead of them to use the opportunity to escape and come to us, some of them are running and following the Boko Haram. So if we want a situation whereby...
And you cannot shoot.
We cannot shoot.
We spend days with soldiers in the bush. During the stay, I yearned to visit Camp Zero and such high-profile places in Sambisa. The commander told me he does not fancy going to Maiduguri in handcuffs. I left him alone. Generally, however, the sound bites coming from the front is that Nigerians' war against insurgency is coming over.
This war is over. I must tell you, what is left is for people to begin to have more confidence in what has been done so far. And as that confidence builds, then fear begins to leave.
For details of this story, link up with Rogo at Large this Friday at 12:30 p.m. on the network of the Nigerian Television Authority.
It has been observed that the value of confiscated crude oil and illegally refined diesel in Nigeria within the year 2016 amounts to more than 420 billion naira. This revelation was made by the Chief of Naval Staff, Admiral Ibot Ete Ibas, before the House of Representatives Committee on Navy while defending the 2017 budget of the service. National Assembly correspondent Abdullahi Aminu reports.
The illegal crude oil seized in 2016 stands at 810 metric tons, while the illegally refined diesel was more than 1 million metric tons. Beside deterring criminal activities in the Nigeria's waterways, the naval chief said Nigerian Navy contributes in no small measure towards providing enabling environment for the continued exploitation of the nation's oil and gas resources.
The major focus of the 2017 budget is mainly on the ongoing fleet renewal, infrastructure and capacity upgrade amongst others. Efforts to improve the welfare of personnel will also be sustained.
In view of the quintessential role played by the Navy in the protection of the country's territorial waters, especially in the areas of the operations of the Nigerian oil industry, Chairman of the committee, Abdusamad Dasuki, reiterated the commitment in the provision of legislative support to Nigerian naval service towards attaining national goals, especially in revamping the economy within the principle of change agenda of government.
There is also an urgent need to ensure that budgetary allocation to the Navy is realistic and allows it to function effectively.
Maintenance effort to ensure increased availability of ships and helicopters along Nigeria's sea borders was mentioned among other achievements of the Nigerian Navy in 2016. From the National Assembly, Abdullahi Aminu, NTA News.
Thousands are in need of urgent humanitarian assistance following the recent crisis between herdsmen and farmers in Lau local government area of Taraba State. Aduadamu also reports that many are taking refuge in different locations in the state.
The crisis between farmers and suspected herdsmen, which started last Friday, continued to take its toll, with people fleeing the troubled spots. Many of the affected communities have either been destroyed or deserted, a situation which has resulted to a serious humanitarian crisis as thousands of people have been displaced. When NTA News visited some IDPs camp in Jalingo and Yoru local government areas, it met a disturbing situation as people, mostly women and children, who fled from the crisis areas were seen in difficult conditions. At the United Methodist Church Lankaveri, officials said over 4,000 people were registered as at the time of the visit. Another set of IDPs were seen at Hawaii Primary School Mile 6, Jalingo. Taraba State Emergency Management Agency has already commenced the assessment and registration of victims for emergency relief services. The Executive Secretary of the Taraba State Emergency Management Agency, Noval Gadan Habu, during a visit to the camps, assured that the government is mobilizing effort to urgently meet the increasing needs of the IDPs.
We have been informed that relief materials will be delivered to me. Most of the items will arrive today.
Security agencies are working around the clock to achieve lasting peace in the area. Taraba State Police Commissioner Yunana Yakubu Babaz, who led other security operatives to the area, called for calm and assured that perpetrators will be brought to book.
We will remain here till everybody obeys and goes back to their houses.
He added that a stakeholders' peace meeting convened in the area agreed to make the warring factions embrace peace. Aduadamu also, NTA News.
Minister of State Aviation has inaugurated a security subcommittee on the temporary closure of Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, with a stress on security of passengers and cargo shuttling between Abuja and Kaduna, beginning from Wednesday, March 8. The committee is headed by Assistant Inspector General of Police Operations, Alkali Bala Usman. Edino Justice reports.
Before the decision to close temporarily the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, for 6 weeks to allow for repairs and in the interim use Kaduna International Airport as alternative, Abuja-Kaduna Expressway was known for frequent accidents due to bad portions of the road and activities of armed robbers. All those have been taken care of now as repair works are ongoing and security surveillance improved. Minister of State Aviation Hadi Sirika says the formal inauguration of this security subcommittee shows government resolve to ensure security of life and property at airports, roads, and railway before, during, and after operations.
It is my sincere hope that this committee, being inaugurated today, will live up to its bidding by making sure that within 6 weeks period closure of this runway, security should be watertight. Your task is to be proactive and deal with any security challenge.
I want to assure you that we will collectively and in synergy carry out this responsibility.
Subcommittee membership is drawn from the police, army, air force, aviation security, and the transportation ministry. Others are customs, immigration, civil defense, and road safety corps. In Abuja, Edina Justice, NTA News.
In line with the clamor to promote speedy dispensation of criminal justice in the country, strategy for effective implementation of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act to relevant authorities in Abuja have been sought for their input. Aliu Tukur has the details.
Following the passage of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act in 2015, it is believed that the defects in the Nigerian system of criminal justice have been cured. But close to 2 years after its implementation, observers say not much has changed due to many challenges, which includes constitutional-related barriers to the effective implementation of the laws and human attitude. To address these challenges, the Center for Socio-Legal Studies came up with a draft strategy to promote the understanding of the Act and identify the barriers to its effective implementation.
What we are trying to do is to help to simplify the Administration of Criminal Justice Act so that the objectives of the Act can be better realized.
To further promote the proper usage of the Act, some Nigerians who had been instrumental to the passage of the Act were honored. They include Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Akin Olujimi, Femi Okewo of NTA, and many more, both in the legislature and executive arm of government.
We must put very, very vigorous effort, you see, into strengthening the judicial sector if we really mean to speed up the trial of cases.
The draft strategy is expected to be forwarded to the monitoring committee of the Act. In Abuja, Ali Utuku, NTA News.
The Ministry of Labour and Employment has been urged to prioritize its utilization of funds allocated for effective service delivery in view of the general dwindling resources. This was stated by the House Committee on Labour, Employment and Productivity, which was on an oversight visit to the ministry. National Assembly correspondent Dennis Adegunloye reports.
Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, Clement Ilo, highlighting the year under review in terms of performance, noted that capital releases were inadequate to effectively carry out projects, hence a 29% success rate.
But despite of these challenges, we reaffirm the fact that the Ministry of Labour and Productivity has made tremendous contributions to national development.
The chairman of the committee, Zenwa Onyewuchi, noted the critical role the ministry plays in terms of employment generation, human capital, and promoting harmony in labor issues.
I'm concerned about the releases coming to you, but even the little released to you, you have not spent well. I would think that areas like your job exchange centers, I think they should have received attention, because what we're talking about here is job creation.
The Permanent Secretary noted the observations and assured that these will be factored in 2017 budget estimates. At the National Productivity Center, members praised the management in view of dwindling funds. The Industrial Arbitration Panel was also visited by the House Committee. In Abuja, Dennis Adegunloye, NTA News.
The Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation will continue to complement President Muhammadu Buhari's led administration in his drive towards providing affordable housing for Nigerians. The head of the Civil Service of the Federation stated this at a meeting with international investors in Abuja. Adebola Brooksling Sunday reports.
Affordable housing for all Nigerians is one of the priorities of the present administration.
With our fish program.
Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Winifred Oyo-Ita, told the investors from the United Kingdom that the Federal Integrated Staff Housing Program, FISH, was designed to speed up the housing plans of government.
So we are working in line with the vision of this administration in providing housing, affordable housing to Nigerians. So while the government of the day is looking at it on a larger level, we are looking at it with special interest geared towards the Federal Civil Service.
We can do great things together, and we absolutely have no doubt that the Nigerian government at federal level and at state level, so we're committed to quality. We won't have green buildings at the expense of quality, but it's possible with scale and with technology as well as with finance to deliver the full package, and that's what we're here to do.
Reports indicate that over 28,000 Nigerian workers have indicated interest in the FISH program. Adebola, Brooksland Sunday, NTA News.
And time now to take a break from here as we go over to Lagos. Vera is standing by to give us stories making waves there. Vera, it's over to you.
Thank you, Femi. Good afternoon and welcome to Lagos. Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode has signed into law the anti-kidnapping bill recently passed by the State House of Assembly. Nusa Osula reports.
Speaking at the signing ceremony held at Lagos House in Ikeja, Governor Ambode said the state of kidnapping in the state had gotten to a level that required decisive action from government, hence the need for the enactment of the law to send serious message to perpetrators of such heinous crime.
When we use this law to address the challenge of kidnapping and punish the criminals, we're also putting in place appropriate measures, particularly in our schools and other vulnerable targets, to prevent security breaches. The Sports Commission law will give legal backing to the formulation and implementation of sports policies in the state.
Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Honorable Mudashiru Obasa, who was represented by the majority leader of the House, Honorable Sanai Agubiade, said it was particularly gratifying to note that the anti-kidnapping law was an all-encompassing one, which prescribes punishments for the actual actors, those that collaborate, aid and abet, and those who seek the act of kidnapping being perpetrated and do nothing about it, as well as confiscation of properties attached to the heinous crime of kidnapping.
We are delighted that legislative efforts by the Assembly is now to be signed by the governor so as to transform the intendment of the government into full-fledged law.
The governor also signed the Sports Trust Fund Bill and the Sports Commission Bill into law, explaining that the laws were enacted to address key issues bordering on security and effectively harnessing the potentials in the sports sector. In Lagos, Nusa Osula, NTA.
Following non-compliance with the installation of speed limiting device on commercial vehicles, the Federal Road Safety Corps has impounded about 20 vehicles plying the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Salami Abolede monitored the exercise at the Lagos-Ibadan toll gate.
The high involvement of commercial vehicles in road crashes across the country informed the need to begin the enforcement of the installation of speed limiting device on vehicles nationwide. The device, according to the Federal Safety Corps, is part of measures to curb road accidents. This exercise, therefore, is coming a few months after what is called advisory enforcement and enlightenment without apprehending motorists and defaulters. The Zonal Commanding Officer FRC in charge of Lagos and Ogun State, Shehu Zaki, speaks further.
Any vehicle that is being used for commercial purposes, be it trailer, be it tanker to convey petroleum products or any other liquids, be it bus to convey people from one place to the other, we are here in this number with this kind of zeal and seriousness to arrest all those that do not have speed limiting device installed in their vehicles.
Some of the drivers whose vehicles were impounded claimed ignorance of the device. This, however, resulted to most passengers being stranded.
So I used to apply this rule almost every 2 days, every day. Passing road safety, passing police, we never had such a thing. I'm just learning for the first time today.
I heard that they said that motor will not run up to 110. See? Well, it's good.
For him, if you delay him here for 1 hour or 1 day, it's not his concern. But people he's taking around, who has, one of us here has an interview to do in 30 to 40 minutes time now.
I don't know whether the driver have had or he never had. What I want now, I want to get my time where I'm going. I want to get my time.
Just one commercial vehicle had the device installed during this operation.
Very nice. So when I was about to reach 110, they speed me to draw my vehicle back. So with my vehicle now, to save life.
The Federal Road Safety Corps says mobile courts have been set up across the country to try defaulters with a penalty of 3,000 naira. The Corps is, however, working with other security agencies to ensure full compliance to the policy.
You're to nationwide news on the NTA network service. It's now back to Femi in Abuja for more reports. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Vera. The federal government has commenced distribution of farming inputs for effective implementation of growth enhancement scheme. The program was flagged off in Kano State, targeting 500,000 farmers for 2016-2017 dry season farming. Musa Babalio reports.
The Growth Enhancement Scheme, known as GES, is an initiative of the federal government designed to produce and supply inputs to farmers at 50% subsidy. The objective of the scheme is to reduce corruption in farming input supply, as well as boost national food production and create wealth among farmers. Under the program, farmers are linked to input suppliers where they pay 50% of the required inputs. The federal and participating states jointly pay 50%. The program was, however, suspended in 2014 as the last administration was unable to pay over 60 billion naira to input suppliers.
Because there is no any program in the country that has ever brought quality inputs to the farmer to the doorstep. Lack of payment is trying to kill the program.
The present administration redesigned the program for effectiveness and efficiency and promised to settle the outstanding debt.
And the president has directed that we liaise with the Minister of Finance to look for money to pay. And the Minister of Finance has assured me that she's going to look for money and pay this debt.
Free fertilizer will not take us anywhere. A farmer must have his own arithmetic. A farmer must know how much he is spending in order to produce what, and what is his profit.
Under the new system, only the federal government will register and compile the list of farmers that will benefit from the GES initiative. From Chirumawa in Kano State, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Similarly, the same program has also been flagged off in Adamawa State. Sionasha reports that the program is designed to capture registered small farmers who constitute about 80% of the farming population.
Inputs manufacturers who form the supply chain and the agro-dealers who are at the retail end expected to source and issue the inputs to registered farmers. These inputs are provided with subsidy from the federal government, and the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development is to facilitate the process. The growth enhancement support started in Adamawa State since 2013 with 35 retention centers that are still functional. However, the program was suspended in 2015 due to security challenges in the Northeast, coupled with the ban on inorganic fertilizer because of its security threats. The growth enhancement support operational guideline was fine-tuned in electronic system where registered farmers can access farm inputs through SMS and collect them at their registered redemption centers. The representative of the Northeast Regional Director, Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, represented by Assistant Director of Federal Ministry of Agriculture, Shimumela, while flagging off the program at one of the redemption centers in Demsa local government area of Adamawa State, challenged farmers to maximize the opportunity towards achieving food security. The State Director of Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, Ishaku Talfa, said the dry season growth enhancement support in Adamawa State will now operate in 37 centers across the 21 local government areas in the state and will focus on rice value chain only. The Adamawa State Chairman Agro Dealers Association, Usman Bapullo Ribado, who commended the Buhari administration for revisiting the GES, assured the federal government that with sustained commitment will lead the path of prosperity in the area of dry season rice production. In Yola, Simon Asha, NTA News.
The management of the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, has reiterated its resolve towards ensuring that corps members have a reliable source of economic empowerment during and after their service year. Director General of the scheme, Brigadier General Suleiman Kazari, made the disclosure when he visited the 2016 Batch B Stream 2 corps members in Bauchi. Correspondent Mahmoud Ibn Muhammad reports.
General Kazore, who noted that already the scheme have established 2 skills acquisition centers in Ekiti State for Southwest and Gombe for Northeast, says efforts are on the way to establish more in other geopolitical zones of the nation. According to him, the era for seeking white-collar job is over, hence the need to mold the core members to be productive.
We are into collaboration with CBN and Bank of Industries. We're into collaboration. They are ready to give us loan for our core members. So startup fund is not a problem to us.
He therefore charged the core members to shun all forms of bad acts and respect the culture and traditions of their host communities. Apart from its main mission of promoting peace and unity among Nigerians, the National Youth Service Corps scheme has over the years instilled in the minds of Nigerian youth the spirit of self-reliance and effective participation in nation building. In Bauchi, Mahmoud Ibn Muhammad, NTA News.
You can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. And let's pause for some messages on Nationwide. We'll continue immediately after the break. Do stay with us.
From what we have seen, we have the capacity which we can rapidly develop or feed in ourselves. If we don't import rice, we stop importing corn and other grains, Nigeria will have plenty of money to invest into developing industries, especially manufacturing, textiles and so on, and develop iron and steel, and complement the infrastructure development. So really, the opportunities are virtually limitless, and we are very, very aware of this, and we are prepared to exploit it to the fullest.
On a white sheet of exam paper, I am calm like a sniper, bam like a piper, glam like a rapper. I'm never a slacker.
Fail like a failure.
How was your result?
This wicked girls here was gave me.
Then give me.
They gave me 7 E's.
This week on your award-winning comedy series, Professor John Bull, starring Kanayo Okanayo, Mercy Johnson, Queen Wokoye, Yomi Fashlanso, Stephen Odingbe.
Address me as the Ono. My title is waiting for me.
Oh no, we're waiting.
Anam.
Ono.
Mr. Owowu.
No, I can't take that. Olowu. Hey, I don't like all this.
What is that name they call you all over the campus?
Flashbird with a big splash, depending on how you want to lash.
Big name that kills a small dog.
Professor John Bull, fasten your seatbelts this Tuesday and Friday, 8:30 to 9 p.m. on NTA Network, International, and Star Times. It's absolutely bombastic.
Over and out.
Welcome to the new speed of life.
NTA Television College JOS offers a variety of well-developed curriculum, namely Bachelor of Science degree in Mass Communication, Television Production, and Bachelor of Science degree in Mass Communication, Television Journalism. We also offer diploma certificates in Film and Television Production, Broadcast Journalism, and Television Engineering. NTA Television College JOS offers a range of short proficiency courses such as Computer Graphics and Animation, Principles and Practice of Marketing, English grammar and pronunciation for broadcasters, specialized reporting, intermediate television presentation technique, and many more. For further inquiries, contact the academic office, NTA Television College, Rayfield JOS. Call us on 080-6980-9807 or 070-366-07155 or email us on ntacollege@gmail.com. NTA Television College JOS.
Training you to be the best you want to be.
The essence of having a leader. When you promise, you make sure that you fulfill your promises. And that's what I'm after in particular, the success of my husband's administration. And he can't do it alone except with the help of the governor's wives, and all members of our Progressive Party.
The federal government's social investment program has begun. The poorest and most vulnerable in the land get 5,000 naira monthly, and phase 1 has started in 9 states of the federation. 200,000 unemployed graduates have been engaged in the N-Power Volunteer Corps, designed to engage 500,000 people. 5.5 million children will be fed regularly in the homegrown school feeding program, which kicked off in 3 states last year, with 9 more to be added this year. And under the Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program, GEEP, thousands of cooperatives, market women, farmers, and enterprising youth have been receiving between 10,000 and 100,000 naira soft loans since November 2016. The Social Investment Program has begun. It can only get better. We promise change. Change is here.
NTA Properties Investment Company Limited, a subsidiary of the Nigerian Television Authority, specializes in creating comfort in all areas of life, such as real estate investments, that is, land, houses, and office spaces, mass leasing, savings and loan scheme, household items and car loans, and so much more. Other information and entertainment services include Property in Style, a TV program that airs on the network service of the NTA, and also Property Connect, a nationwide magazine. Our priority is to bridge poverty gaps and sustain quality welfare of our clients. Partner with us and watch us help you grow. Pay us a visit today at the NTA headquarters permanent site, Area 11 Garki, Abuja, or our Lagos office at number 15 Awolowo Road, Ikoyi, Lagos. For more information, visit our website on www.ntaproperties.com.ng, or you can email us on ntapeak2000@yahoo.com. Call us on 080-2316-3474 or 080-6939-5185 or 070-3189-0555. NTA Properties Investment Company Limited, the much needed help at your doorstep.
You're still on 20 nationwide, and Governor Isaka Jimobi leads campaign on environmental cleanliness. Let's join Fatai in Ibadan Network Center for details of this and more stories. Fatai, take it away.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Ibadan. Hard times await environmental law violators as Oyo State government establishes mobile court to prosecute offenders. This was the fallout of the environmental sensitization awareness campaign led by Governor Abiola Ajimobi. Correspondent Olumide Eguntola reports.
Oyo State Governor Abiola Ajimobi led other top government functionaries to sweep major streets in Ibadan, sending signals that government will stop at nothing to stop indiscriminate dumping of refuse on roadsides. The environmental sanitation team was at areas like Bere, Mapo, Ojoba, Molite, Orita Challenge, among others, where the governor also warned traders to stop street trading or face the full wrath of the law.
We want Oyo State to be one of the cleanest cities in Nigeria. Let us know you have a clean environment. When they know that they are safe, they will come here.
The question being raised in some quarters is, are there enough refuse bins on roads for people's use, especially in marketplaces where traders also pay maintenance fees to government? NTA News gathered that as from the 2nd of February 2017, all violators of environmental laws caught will be prosecuted. In Ibadan, Olumide Eguntola, NTA News.
All states in the Federation have been advised to domesticate the violence against women prohibition law to forestall abuse against the vulnerable group. The Minister of Women Affairs, Aisha Al-Hassan, gave the advice during a working visit to Ogun State to sensitize women on the various social safety net programs of the federal government. Lekan Agbonde reports.
The minister, Aisha Al-Hassan, told the governor that her mission in Ogun State was to deliver President Muhammadu Buhari's message to women folk in appreciation of their role during the 2015 elections. She said she was to interact with women and enlighten them on the 5 social investment initiatives of the federal government that include homegrown school feeding, N-Power, conditional cash transfer, bursary awards, and government enterprise and empowerment programs.
I appreciate Nigerian women, Your Excellency. Mr. President directed that in every month, if they give the money for the program, 1.6 billion of it should be set aside exclusively for women.
Ogun State Governor Ibikunle Amosun commended the federal government for initiating the safety nets programs, which he described as succor to Nigerians.
You see all these big nations of the world that have developed, that have probably look up to and say they are getting it right. What they did was to make sure that everybody is carrying along.
He said Ogun State government, on its part, will continue to ensure that programs that would enhance socio-economic development are supported and sustained by creating a workable environment. In Abeokuta, Lekan Agbonde, NTA News.
That's it from Ibadan. It is back to Femi in Abuja for the continuation of Nationwide. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, Fatai. Professionals in the lands and survey industry have expressed concern over the inadequate surveyors to man Nigeria's wide expanse of land. They say with a landmass of about 1 million square meters, the nation has just less than 4,000 surveyors. So what is the way forward? Let's join Mel Gidi for details.
Geospatial information is one of the fundamentals for national development, as every projection depends on the data generated by the surveyor. This data guides in the exploration of solid minerals, maps for security agencies, reduction of land and boundary disputes, forest preservation for agriculture, and to some extent gives proper town planning as well as buildings.
If we don't have a good number of surveyors to really put in their professional expertise into this building and construction projects, and also leading to even collapse of buildings or structures.
Governing the practice of the surveying profession.
Gathered in this hall are members of the surveying family for the 2016-2017 induction of new members. Speeches at this gathering go beyond the funfair, as senior members of the profession expressed worry that the lack of surveyors in the country has created a backdoor for quacks to get access into the profession, which will give misdirection in providing data for land use in Nigeria.
We are in a hurry to produce quality, surveyors that will feed the land space and make a quackery a thing of the past.
Map and mapping products are lacking, so we are appealing to government to fund the mapping agencies properly. The absence of the maps, that is when you find out that roads are not being built properly, projects are not located properly.
I would like to assure you of the federal government commitment of creating an enabling environment, especially filling gaps, filling gaps, and provision of infrastructure, as well as development of other economic sectors.
Hopes are however high that the journey to getting the needed manpower in the surveying profession is making headway, as the number of those inducted in 2016-2017 is 344 compared to 2015, which was slightly above 200. Beyond the euphoria of the induction, senior colleagues who spoke at the event advised those coming into the profession to honor the oath they have just taken, especially not to sign survey plans coming from quacks through the back door. Mayor Ogidi, NTA News.
We now join our Makurdi Network Center for details as residents outcry over scarcity of cooking gas. Charles is on standby now and is ready for this report, plus other stories. Charles, over to you.
And welcome to Makurdi. Residents of Makurdi, the Benue State capital, and other areas have continued to lament the hike in price of cooking fuel in the country. They say the situation is making life more uncomfortable. Here are the details. Some of the cooking fuel used by members of the public are gas, kerosene, charcoal, and firewood. In the past, the prices of these commodities were affordable, as many families used cooking gas or kerosene. Cooking gas, which was more economical, nearly goes for double its price now as against December last year, from 1,700 to 2,500 naira for 5 kilogram cylinder.
Last time I refilled was in December, and it was 1.6 for this 5 kg. But now I was told it was 2.5, and for me it's too much.
Kerosene presented a more difficult situation, as its price per liter varies in different filling stations at 265 naira and above. Elizabeth Agbo is a kerosene vendor.
Last year we said 200, 180 last year, but this year na 400 we sell.
Monica Abba, a mother of 5 who sells charcoal, said a bag of charcoal goes for 2,000 naira as against 1,200 naira last year.
We apologize for the low quality on the audio of that report, where we will still continue with the issue of gas as we take this story, which says that the security of kerosene and cooking gas in recent times is yet to be on, and also it appears that there will be a resort to failing back falling back onto the Stone Age of using firewood and charcoal as source of energy. Lydia Sampson tries to find out reasons behind the scarcity, and this is our report.
The gas sector is still a critical revenue point for the country despite drastic dip in global crude oil prices. Ironically, oil is a global product which transactions to a large extent depend on foreign exchange.
CBN has not given any approval to non-PMS products, and you can only access your dollars at the black market rate, and the black market rate has been very, very exorbitant.
This is in addition to the worsening vandalism of oil production facilities by armed militant groups. Stakeholders say is responsible for the scarcity of the products. Unfortunately, this has brought about untold hardship to Nigerians who mostly depend on the product. Ifeoma Adewunyi says price has never skyrocketed to what obtains now.
It has not gone to this range since 10 years I've been using gas.
Other users say, in spite of exorbitant rates, most time gas is even not available in the market, a development that has led to brisk business for the few that still have the product in stock, to the detriment of Nigerians who are made to pay more.
Using gas long ago, but these last few years, the 50 kg has been 14,000. Suddenly during Christmas it went to 16, and today I heard that it was even 24.
Whereby you don't have sufficient gas and you're cooking in the house and you're out of gas, what are you going to do? Now they said they don't have gas anymore.
Investigations across some retail outlets and gas plants in Abuja revealed that about 95% of the marketers have run out of stock and have no idea when they are likely to get the next consignment, while the few with the products are having an advantage. This is the Department of Petroleum Resources. Their mandate include monitoring, enforcement, and compliance with standards.
Because of that major supply from LNG that was not done in December to the domestic market, that created some scarcity, and people capitalize on that. And you know, everything that people do now, they will tie it to dollar rate of exchange, whether it applies to them or not, because they want to make profit. I think those are the major things.
This development, many lament, may be a setback to the federal government's desire of discouraging the use of dirty fuel and deepening the use of gas. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
Nigeria and Portugal have entered into a memorandum of understanding for closer collaboration in different areas of science and technology. Portuguese Minister of Science, Technology and Higher Education, Professor Manuel Eto, and his Nigerian counterpart, Dr. Ogbonaya Onu, agree that both nations share common vision and commitment to the advancement of technology for the good of their people. Science correspondent Kirian Umayo reports.
Major outcome of the meeting between the two ministers is the plan for Nigeria-Portugal Science and Technology Summit, scheduled to take place in Nigeria later this year, a platform for researchers from both countries to share scientific knowledge. Dr. Ogbonaya says Nigeria needs a quantum leap into the technological sphere in collaboration with other nations as a way to move the nation to a higher level of development.
In the management of the Atlantic Ocean, Portugal will work very closely with Nigeria for us to effectively and efficiently manage the resources, the huge resources of the Atlantic Ocean.
On his part, Portuguese Minister of Science, Technology and Higher Education, Professor Manuel Eto, says there is need to develop a scientific future driven by knowledge sharing through scientific institutions.
Looking at the future, we need to provide the necessary procedures, incentives, and above all, the necessary vision to educate our common future towards the sustainable development of our societies.
For both ministers, promotion of science for public understanding is key, as it cannot flourish in social isolation. Kirian Umayo, NTA News.
Federal Safety Commissioners commence enforcement of speed limit in device. Let's join Beauty in our Enugu studio for more details of this and other stories. Good afternoon, Beauty. You are on now.
It's good to see you, Femi. Welcome to Enugu. Enugu State Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi has appealed to the federal government to release more resources to the states to address critical issues in his domain. The governor made the appeal when members of the Senate Committee on Local and State Government Administration visited him at Government House, Enugu. Ijoma Agweke will take up that report.
The governor, while commending the federal government for providing states with bailout funds to assist in numerous challenges confronting them, also appealed for the refund of the 22 billion naira the state government used in reconstruction of some federal roads in the state. Governor Ugwuanyi intimated the committee members on how the bailout fund was utilized in the state.
Enugu State applied for bailout fund from the federal government, totaling about 40.9 billion. Out of this sum, however, we received only 4.207 billion to be used for the liquidation of outstanding pensions and subventions to parastatals, agencies and departments.
The chairman of the committee, Senator Abdullahi Gumel, said their assignment will afford them the opportunity to ensure accountability and transparency in the management of public funds.
Enugu State has even gone further because we haven't seen this in any other state. They give us all the list of the beneficiaries, and they didn't prepare it. It's the bank, the paying bank, prepare all the list of the beneficiaries of the bailout. So this is an innovation. We are carrying it with our report, and we are going to report it.
He, however, used the opportunity to commend the developmental stride of the present administration.
That's how far we can go with Enugu on that report. Dozens stranded after U.S. deportation and United States Defense Chief visits South Korea. There's a more global tidbits with Talatu Ezerike.
About 100 persons are stranded in Ethiopia's capital of this Ababa International Airport after being deported from the United States. This, the country's information minister said, follows President Trump's executive order to halt the U.S. refugee program. From Zimbabwe, opposition leader Munga Sangarai has condemned the arrest of a cleric whom he believes had committed no crime. The police, however, has charged the cleric with subverting constitutional government since last year. Meanwhile, speculations are high that the demise of Kakongo's veteran opposition leader Etine Tshisekedi could threaten transitional deal. Also, U.S. Defense Secretary has assured the leader of South Korea